And welcome back to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Mr. Phantom, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Agent 47 or Sam Fisher from oh god, not Call of Duty, it's, crap, Metal Gear Solid is Snake, from, why am I blanking on where Sam Fisher is from, game-wise? This image, by the way, is made from Century Neo. Sam Fisher, god damn it, Splinter Cell, that's it, Splinter Cell, bleh, never played those games. So one hitman versus one, hitman, well, two assassins, one's more of a hitman, the other is more of a espionage, secret agent kind of guy, to a little degree, to more degree than hitman, I guess. Anyway, he's more Black Ops, is what it is. So, right out the gate, let's get this out of the way. There is no, well, Hitman 47 can just snipe him from a distance and the fight's over before it even begins. Sam can poison this guy from like a distance or hit him with a knife so far away, never gonna fight. That's not a freaking fight. It really gets on my skin, anyone who tries to argue, well, this happens to the fight never happens. Like, that's not a fight. That defeats the point. And let's be clear, as awesome as Hitman Agent 47 is, he can be sniped just as easily. He might have some levels of like weird precognition and stuff like that. Especially, like, you kind of see that in like the last movie they did. But that doesn't mean he could survive a sniper bullet or a sniper. That doesn't mean he can do that. And just as with the problem with the games, I know there's lore and stuff too. The problem with doing characters from games is that the character is only as good as the player playing the character. Now, if you are a God tier level player, then you are. But if you're a God tier level player, even Crash Bandicoot could beat Hitman Agent 47 in the right context. So maybe Crash isn't the right example, but you get my meaning. So those game characters are very difficult to really judge effectively. However, we did fortunately have the death battle with Solid and Sam long ago. And by the way, that was definitely one of their better death battles. I think the analysis was pretty solid. Even though I chose Sam in the fight, I didn't disagree with their option for choosing Snake. So, I mean, both these guys, exceptional in combat, exceptional marksmen. Sam Fisher, I think, would have the edge in stealth because that is what he's trained to do. He is Black Ops. Hitman doesn't normally carry anything like advanced stealth gear that Sam does. But 47... I think has the physical edge because he is a genetically engineered human to a certain degree. He is engineered to be the perfect human and perfect assassin. So he is actually physically more capable, I think, than Sam Fisher is. And in terms of marksmanship, I think they're both relatively equal, but I think I'll give the edge to Hitman. I think he's just, because of the superhuman nature of him, the mild superhuman nature of him, he's just more, he's just a better shot. He knows how to calculate and triangulate a bit more effectively than Sam does without gear. If the fight goes black though, then Hitman 47 is at a very strong disadvantage because he can't see in the dark. He might be able to sense, he might have strong senses, for what it's worth, night vision to some degree, battlefield perception. But as it stands, he can't see in the dark, whereas Sam can see in the dark, as long as he's got that on, those goggles on. If the fight goes melee, that's a bit tougher, but I think I will go with Hitman Agent 47. I think the real difference between them is mentality. Hitman is just that he is trying to complete the mission at whatever cost. If that means killing you, sure. If you're not his target, he'll ignore you if he needs to, but if you're trying to come at him, he will put you down. He will do that without any sort of hesitation. This fight I think actually varies a little bit, depending on, maybe not the result, but how the fight might go. It depends if Sam is 47's target or not. If Sam is 47's target, he's immediately coming at him full firepower. Now, Sam does wear some bulletproof, not bulletproof, but bullet resistant outfit, or not armor. Because he's not really wearing armor per se. I can't even say it's Kevlar per se. I think it's like a mesh, but he is resistant to some levels of firepower. Anything high caliber is going to be torn through. But I think when the fight opens, Hitman's just going to open the salvo out on him, just handguns. Sam's going to be able to resist some of it, but he wants to get out of the way. It's more bullet resistant than proof. And so, 47 just is going to calmly walk, but he's, cover the corners, all that. I think Sam's going to go for the light. If Sam goes for the lights, I think he goes for the lights. In fact, every one of these to basically blind 47. 47, though, isn't without some ability in the dark. He's just at extreme disadvantage now. His senses are all peak human to whatever degree. So he's still got, still hear, smell, feel a little bit. So he might be able to avoid Sam for a while, but I think what he's ultimately going to do is use either a flashbang. I imagine he has something on him like that, flashbang, or just make sure to start a fire so he can get some light in there, blind Sam, and then basically boop boop put a couple in his head and drop him. Now there is a flip side of that coin though. Could Sam take out 47 before that happens? And he very well could. He could very just shoot him in the dark. And I think this is where the Hit 47 fans are going to crucify me, because trust me, if you want to see one of the videos where people completely hated me for my decision, watch my John Wick versus Agent 47 video. Oh, watch that video. If you disagree with me, again, that just proves the point. Oh, I got crucified. I think, let me check that real quick, because I'm pretty sure that might have one of the biggest dislike to like ratios I've ever had on a video. Let's see here now. So first off, it's my 5th highest viewed video at around 25,067 views. Actually, no, I take that back. That was not the one that had the higher dislike to like ratio. That still had more likes than dislikes, although it still had 121 dislikes versus 315 likes. So, and for some, this is one of the arguments right now I always loathe. Just one thing, Hitman never got spotted when he was killing John Wick. He gets caught at the time. He's too sloppy to be the same level of Hitman. No, shut up. That's a stupid argument. And let me see. Who else gave me the Hitman's gonna snipe Wick? Bias towards John Wick. Nope. Vote emotions. 47 simply does everything. Does everything better than John Wick. That's answer. So the answer is something that's not an answer. That's an opinion. Yeah, you can maybe base that opinion on some things you viewed, but without actual evidence to say he does everything better. That's just an opinion. What else we got here? John Wick. I know someone gave me the snipe answer with this one. Anyway, but it was the other one. It was the Mewtwo versus Deoxys video. That was the one that I got a huge dislike rate, huge dislike to like ratio on that. And now that's not even in my top 15 videos. Anyway, I digress. So that's if Sam is the target. And like I said, Sam could actually, if the lights go out, which I think because of the goggles, Sam would want to try to take the lights out. The lights go out, Sam actually stands a solid shot. Because again, for all his abilities, Hitman can't see in the dark. But if Sam's not the initial target, I think Hitman might be a bit more lenient on him. And that might give Sam a bit more of an opening to get whether you want to call it lethal or just a put down shot. Whatever hit he gets to stop the fight, because that's how the fight ends. So if he's not the intended target, he's just in the way, I feel like Hitman might give him at least a chance to get away. But the minute Sam brings out the bullet and maybe grazes Hitman has to go behind a corner, fire a shot. Sam goes around the corner again, goes for the lights. Agent 47 is okay, I now got to take care of this guy. So that I think is another reasonable scenario if he's not the target. And again, it all comes down to if you think Sam is going to just boop, boop, him in the dark more often than Hitman's going to be able to get some sort of light source on to see again, or even blind Smith or So for me, and again, this is just my opinion. Feel free to formulate your own. I would say it is more likely Sam is smart enough to recognize how dangerous this guy is, and also the fact he's not really heavily armored, although I believe his jacket is actually like a Kevlar thing. But, go for a headshot or whatever while he's in the dark and try to do that. I think that is a little bit more of a likely scenario. However, he does risk giving his position away, so he's got to make sure it's a firm shot. Hitman does have at least a little level of precog, at least what we saw in the last movie, and probably in the game too. I've never played the games myself. But he's got a great battlefield awareness, so he might be able to just instinctively avoid that. I will say, based on being a genetically perfect human, having a lot of battlefield awareness, and just being kind of like the Terminator in many regards, single-minded, I will tentatively give it to 47. But this is one of those scenarios that when the light goes out, it could really be anyone's ball game. I think Sam's got to... But that's the catch. That is the big catch in this fight I'm going to end on. Is that Sam needs to get the lights out for him to stand a really solid shot. That's what I actually think. If the lights don't go out, and Hitman isn't neutered by the lack of light, then I would be I'd be a lot more comfortable saying Hitman Agent 47 wins the majority of the time. But because I feel like Sam would want to because he has those goggles, that is part of his shtick, I feel like he'd want to get the lights out so, he's got the edge. And that's strategy in a fight right there. So I would say that Sam stands a much better shot when the lights go out, but I will still lean towards Agent 47. So that is just my opinion. Is an opinion that I'm wavering on even as I say it right now. I'm sure the Agent 47 fans are going to be overjoyed to hear this. Otherwise they won't. Spoiler cells like, I can't believe he did that, Sam. But it is what it is. Either way, that is my thoughts on this. I could honestly go either way on this. If someone argues more for Sam or more for Agent 47, I'm actually really not going to argue that at all. So let me know in the comments below what you think, though. Do you think it is Agent 47 by a hair or by a large margin, or does he take it 100% of the time? Or do you think Sam Fisher, why did I say Smith? Sam Fisher. Sam Fisher's the one who's actually going to take the majority. And don't give me the excuse, well, he's just going to snipe from a distance. That's not a fight. They can both do that. Move on from that argument. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Hit that bell if you want to be notified, and I'll see you folks later. Have a good one.